Have you ever wondered how force yourself to create new thoughts can transform your life? The way we think shapes our reality, and creating new, empowering thoughts is the first step toward personal growth and success. By becoming aware of negative thought patterns and intentionally replacing them with positive, productive ones, you reshape how you approach challenges. This practice of conscious thinking helps you break free from limiting beliefs, replacing them with thoughts that propel you forward, building resilience, confidence, and a clear path toward achieving your goals. The power to change your life lies in the thoughts you nurture. Recognizing negative patterns is the first and most crucial step in transforming one's mindset. These patterns often emerge subtly, taking root in the form of self-doubt, anxiety, or pessimistic assumptions about the future. They manifest in everyday situations, perhaps when facing a new challenge at work, an unfamiliar social setting, or even in moments of solitude where the mind is left to wander unchecked. Understanding where these patterns originate and how they influence behavior is the foundation for breaking free from their grip. Negative thoughts do not arise out of nowhere. They are often triggered by specific events, environments, or interactions. A simple mistake in a presentation might trigger thoughts of inadequacy. A rejection could reinforce a long-standing fear of not being good enough, and observing someone else's success may spark self-comparison, leading to feelings of unworthiness. These thoughts tend to repeat themselves, creating a cycle that reinforces existing insecurities. By becoming aware of when and how these thoughts emerge, one can begin to take control rather than be controlled by them. Consider the case of a student preparing for an important exam. If they have experienced failure in the past, the anticipation of the test might immediately trigger thoughts such as "I'm going to fail again," or "I'm just not smart enough for this." These thoughts, though seemingly small, create an emotional response, anxiety, stress, and even a reluctance to study, reinforcing the likelihood of failure. But if the student stops to analyze this reaction, they may realize that their fear is rooted in a past experience that does not necessarily dictate the future. Recognizing this pattern allows space for questioning. Is this fear based on facts or merely a response conditioned by past setbacks? Breaking this cycle starts with observation. Keeping track of when negative thoughts appear and what triggers them can provide clarity. A person struggling with self-doubt may notice that these thoughts intensify when they are around overly critical individuals or when scrolling through social media. Someone who feels anxious in social situations may realize that their unease stems from past experiences of being judged or excluded. Awareness creates distance, allowing individuals to separate themselves from automatic responses and evaluate whether their current perspective is truly reflective of reality. It is also important to acknowledge that negative patterns are not necessarily a reflection of truth, but rather interpretations shaped by personal experiences and emotions. A person who believes they are not capable of achieving success may have been conditioned to think this way due to past failures or negative reinforcement from others. However, Recognizing that these beliefs are based on subjective experiences rather than objective truth is the first step toward reshaping them. By understanding the source of these thoughts, individuals can begin to challenge their validity and replace them with a more balanced and constructive perspective. Recognizing negative patterns is not about ignoring difficult emotions, but about learning to see them as signals rather than absolute truths. When feelings of self-doubt or fear arise, instead of accepting them as definitive, one can pause and reflect. Is this thought helping me or holding me back? Is there any concrete evidence to support this belief? Or is it merely an assumption? This shift in perspective does not eliminate negative thoughts entirely, but it weakens their power, making room for alternative, more empowering narratives. This process of self-awareness is foundational for change. Before one can challenge or reframe negative thoughts, they must first be able to recognize them in their raw form. Just as a doctor cannot treat an illness without first diagnosing it, one cannot change a mindset without first identifying the thought patterns that shape it. By observing, questioning, and understanding these patterns, individuals take the first step in reclaiming control over their minds, paving the way for a shift toward resilience, positivity, and self-empowerment. Challenging negative thinking requires a willingness to question the assumptions that underlie our fears and insecurities. Once negative patterns are recognized, the next step is to confront them directly rather than allowing them to dictate our emotions and behaviors. Many negative thoughts are not based on objective reality, but are instead distortions shaped by past experiences, fears, or internalized self-doubt. These thoughts often present themselves as absolute truths, reinforcing beliefs that limit personal growth. The key to breaking this cycle is to examine them critically and replace them with evidence-based reasoning. Consider a person who constantly thinks they are destined to fail whenever they attempt something new. This belief may stem from past experiences of failure, but is it truly a universal truth? If they were to analyze their life objectively, they would likely find numerous instances of success, perseverance, and learning from mistakes. Yet, their mind fixates on past failures, ignoring counter evidence that suggests they are capable. To challenge this thought, they must ask themselves, is there any real proof that I will always fail? Have I never succeeded in anything before? By consciously seeking evidence that contradicts negative beliefs, they begin to weaken their grip. A useful method to challenge negative thinking is to adopt a more neutral perspective, as if advising a friend rather than evaluating oneself. If a friend were experiencing the same doubts and insecurities, how would one respond? Most people would offer reassurance, pointing out past achievements and potential rather than reinforcing a negative narrative. This shift in perspective helps to break the habit of self-criticism and allows a more balanced view to emerge. It creates space for logical reasoning to override emotional reactions that distort reality. Negative thoughts also tend to magnify potential risks and minimize one's ability to handle them. A person who struggles with social anxiety may think, if I speak up in this meeting, I'll embarrass myself. and everyone will judge me. But where is the evidence for this assumption? Have they experienced this in the past, or is it merely an exaggerated fear? Even if they did stumble in a previous conversation, was the reaction truly as severe as they imagined? More often than not, people are too focused on their own concerns to harshly judge others. Recognizing this helps dismantle the irrational fear and encourages a more realistic outlook. Another common cognitive distortion is all or nothing thinking, where people perceive situations in extremes rather than nuances. Someone who makes a mistake at work might immediately think, I'm terrible at my job, rather than I made an error, but I can learn from it. This black and white thinking leaves little room for growth or self-compassion. Challenging such thoughts involves identifying middle ground alternatives. Instead of concluding I'm a failure, one can reframe the thought as I faced a setback, but I am capable of improvement. This simple shift in language has profound effects on self-perception, gradually reshaping thought patterns into something more constructive. It is also essential to consider the broader context of negative beliefs. If a person consistently doubts their abilities, it may be helpful to ask, where did this belief come from? Many limiting beliefs are inherited from past experiences, authority figures, or societal expectations, rather than being objectively true. A person who was frequently criticized as a child may carry that voice into adulthood, mistaking it for their own inner voice. By identifying the source of negative beliefs, they gain the power to challenge and reshape them. They are no longer passive recipients of inherited doubts, but active participants in their mental transformation. To make this process more effective, it helps to write down negative thoughts alongside evidence that supports or contradicts them. When thoughts remain abstract, they hold more power. But when written on paper, they become clearer, making it easier to analyze their validity. A person struggling with imposter syndrome may write, I am not qualified for this job, and then list reasons both for and against this belief. They may realize that while they lack experience in some areas, they have strengths that make them capable. This method gradually weakens irrational fears, replacing them with a more balanced and truthful perspective. Challenging negative thinking is not about forcing blind optimism, but about aligning thoughts with reality. It involves recognizing distortions, questioning their validity, and seeking objective evidence before accepting them as truth. By doing so, individuals regain control over their mindset, breaking free from self-imposed limitations and opening the door to personal growth. This process, though requiring consistent effort, fosters resilience, confidence, and a deeper sense of self-awareness, reinforcing the foundation necessary for long-term change. Reframing perspectives is a powerful step in transforming negative thinking patterns into a mindset that fosters growth, confidence, and resilience. Once negative thoughts have been recognized and challenged, the next crucial step is to replace them with empowering affirmations. The way one speaks to oneself shapes not only self-perception, but also actions and overall outlook on life. Negative self-talk often reinforces limiting beliefs, while positive affirmations help rewire the brain to embrace possibilities and strengths rather than dwelling on perceived shortcomings. Consider an individual who constantly tells themselves, "I'm not good enough." This thought, if repeated often, solidifies into an ingrained belief that influences every decision and interaction. They might avoid opportunities, hesitate to take risks, and ultimately limit their own potential. However, if they actively replace this phrase with "I am capable of learning and improving," the shift in language gradually alters their perception of themselves. Instead of focusing on their limitations, they begin to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than confirmations of inadequacy. The key to reframing perspectives is not merely about repeating positive phrases without substance, but about finding affirmations that feel authentic and rooted in truth. If someone struggles with social anxiety, saying, "I am completely confident in every situation," might feel disingenuous and difficult to believe. Instead, they might say, "I am learning to express myself more freely and comfortably." This small adjustment makes the statement more realistic, increasing the likelihood of internalizing it. Over time, as the brain hears these words repeatedly, they become an internal truth rather than just hopeful words. A practical way to implement this shift is by catching negative self-talk in the moment and immediately rephrasing it. If a person finds themselves thinking, "I always fail at this," they can stop and replace it with, "Each attempt is a chance to grow, and I am improving every time." This small yet significant adjustment helps reshape how one perceives failure, not as proof of incompetence, but as a natural part of progress. When approached consistently, this practice reprograms thought patterns, making positive affirmations the default response rather than negativity. An effective method to reinforce reframing is writing down affirmations daily. The act of writing solidifies the message, making it more tangible. If someone struggles with feelings of unworthiness, they can write, "I am deserving of love, respect, and success," as a daily reminder. This technique not only reinforces the affirmation, but also counteracts years of internalized negativity. Seeing these words repeatedly creates a mental environment where positive beliefs flourish, gradually pushing out old self-defeating thoughts. Another crucial aspect of reframing is recognizing that failure, setbacks, and struggles do not define one's worth or capabilities. A person who has faced repeated obstacles in their career might believe, "I will never succeed." But by shifting the perspective to, "Every challenge I overcome prepares me for future success," they transform frustration into motivation. This shift encourages perseverance rather than resignation, helping them focus on progress rather than perceived shortcomings. The people one surrounds themselves with also play a significant role in reinforcing either negative self-talk or empowering affirmations. If someone is constantly exposed to criticism, doubt, or negativity from those around them, it becomes harder to maintain a positive internal dialogue. Seeking out supportive individuals who reinforce self-worth, celebrate achievements, and encourage growth can make the process of reframing perspectives much more effective. Conversations with uplifting people serve as external affirmations that strengthen internal beliefs. It is also beneficial to use visualization alongside affirmations. When affirming positive beliefs, pairing them with mental images enhances their impact. For instance, if someone says, "I am confident in my abilities," they can visualize themselves successfully handling a situation where confidence is required. This reinforces the message in both words and imagery, making it feel more real. The mind responds strongly to vivid mental pictures, so aligning affirmations with visualization accelerates the shift in mindset. Reframing perspectives is not about denying reality or ignoring challenges, but about choosing a more empowering way to interpret experiences. Negative self-talk often operates on autopilot, reinforcing doubts and fears without challenge. But when consciously replaced with affirmations that promote resilience and self-belief, new mental habits form. With time and practice, the default response to difficulties becomes one of strength and determination rather than discouragement. This shift not only impacts personal growth, but also influences relationships, opportunities, and overall life satisfaction. The importance of support systems in fostering self-confidence and reinforcing a positive mindset cannot be overstated. After recognizing negative thought patterns, challenging irrational fears, and reframing perspectives, the next step is to cultivate an environment that sustains these mental shifts. The people we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on how we perceive ourselves and the world. Encouragement, validation, and constructive feedback from others serve as external reinforcements that solidify internal growth, helping individuals stay resilient in the face of adversity. Support systems come in many forms: family, friends, mentors, colleagues, and even communities with shared values. Their role is not merely to offer comfort during difficult times, but to serve as a mirror that reflects our strengths when self-doubt clouds our vision. Consider someone who is struggling with imposter syndrome in their career. If they are surrounded by individuals who constantly highlight their accomplishments and remind them of their skills, they are more likely to internalize these affirmations. On the other hand, a lack of support or exposure to constant negativity can reinforce feelings of inadequacy, making it difficult to break free from self-defeating thoughts. The presence of positive influences is particularly crucial during moments of self-doubt. When setbacks occur, the natural instinct for many is to retreat inward, allowing negative thoughts to take over. However, a strong support system offers a different perspective, helping individuals see failure as a temporary obstacle rather than a permanent limitation. Imagine a writer who receives multiple rejections from publishers. If they are surrounded by friends who encourage them to keep refining their craft and remind them that even the most successful authors face rejection, they are more likely to persist rather than abandon their goals. Support does not eliminate challenges, but it changes the way they are perceived and approached. Building a supportive network requires intentional effort. It involves seeking out relationships that nurture growth rather than drain energy. some individuals may unknowingly reinforce negativity, constantly doubting abilities, downplaying achievements, or projecting their own fears onto others. Recognizing these influences and setting boundaries is essential for maintaining a healthy mindset. A student struggling with self-confidence in their studies will benefit more from a peer group that fosters collaboration and motivation rather than one that indulges in self-pity and resignation. The energy and attitudes of those we interact with regularly shape our beliefs about what is possible. Mentorship is another invaluable aspect of a strong support system. Having a mentor, someone who has navigated similar challenges and emerged stronger, can provide guidance, wisdom, and reassurance. Mentors offer a perspective that is grounded in experience, helping individuals see beyond their immediate struggles. A young entrepreneur, for instance, may doubt their ability to build a successful business. However, having a mentor who shares stories of their own failures and ultimate triumphs can instill the confidence needed to persist. Seeing tangible examples of success reinforces the belief that setbacks are part of the journey rather than an indication of personal failure. Support systems extend beyond personal relationships and can be found in communities that share similar aspirations and values. Whether it is a professional network, an online support group, or a creative collective, being part of a like-minded community fosters motivation and accountability. A person attempting to cultivate a more positive mindset might find strength in a group that practices daily affirmations or shares inspirational stories. These communities serve as constant reminders that transformation is not a solitary process, but a shared experience where individuals uplift and learn from one another. Beyond receiving support, offering it to others further reinforces confidence and positivity. Encouraging someone else, acknowledging their progress, or simply being a source of reassurance strengthens one's own belief in the power of positive reinforcement. By lifting others, individuals also remind themselves of their own resilience and capacity to inspire change. A teacher who motivates struggling students not only impacts their growth, but also deepens their own conviction in the power of perseverance and encouragement. The quality of our thoughts is often a reflection of the environments we cultivate. Just as negative influences can reinforce doubt and hesitation, positive relationships create an atmosphere where self-belief thrives. By consciously surrounding ourselves with those who uplift, guide, and challenge us to grow, we build a foundation of confidence that withstands life's uncertainties. A strong support system does not remove obstacles, but it equips individuals with the strength, perspective, and encouragement needed to navigate them with resilience. Cultivating gratitude is a transformative practice that shifts the focus from what is lacking to what is already present, creating a mindset of abundance rather than deficiency. After establishing a support system that reinforces confidence, the next step in reshaping thought patterns is developing an awareness of the countless blessings, opportunities, and positive aspects of life that often go unnoticed. Gratitude is more than simply acknowledging what is good. It is an active shift in perception that changes how one experiences life, reinforcing positivity, resilience, and emotional well-being. The human mind has a natural tendency to focus on what is missing, what has gone wrong, or what is yet to be achieved. This inclination often leads to dissatisfaction, frustration, and the belief that happiness is always just out of reach. However, when gratitude is practiced consistently, it rewires the brain to recognize the value in what already exists. A person who constantly feels inadequate in their career might focus on their unfulfilled aspirations and compare themselves to others who appear more successful. But by shifting their perspective, they can recognize how far they have come, the skills they have developed, and the opportunities available to them. This does not mean ignoring ambition or the desire for progress. Rather, it means appreciating the present while striving for the future. Gratitude becomes especially powerful when applied to daily life, turning even the simplest moments into sources of fulfillment. A person who feels overwhelmed by stress may overlook small joys, sunlight streaming through a window, the kindness of a friend, the ability to read and learn. When actively acknowledged, these moments shift the focus from what is missing to what is already abundant. Consider someone who has recently faced financial hardship. If they focus solely on their struggles, they may feel trapped in a cycle of worry. However, if they begin to acknowledge the things that remain, supportive relationships, personal strengths, opportunities for growth, they cultivate a sense of hope and resilience rather than despair. One of the most effective ways to cultivate gratitude is through intentional reflection. Keeping a gratitude journal, where at the end of each day, one writes down 3 things they are grateful for, helps reinforce this shift in mindset. Over time, this practice conditions the mind to seek out positive aspects of life, even in difficult situations. Someone experiencing setbacks might still find gratitude in the lessons learned, the people who stood by them, or the inner strength they discovered. Writing these down not only reinforces appreciation, but also serves as a reminder of the abundance that has always existed. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in relationships, strengthening connections and deepening emotional bonds. Expressing appreciation to others not only benefits the recipient, but also enhances the giver's sense of fulfillment. A person who regularly acknowledges the support, kindness, and efforts of those around them fosters an atmosphere of positivity and mutual encouragement. For instance, an employee who feels undervalued at work may become resentful, focusing only on the negatives. But if they begin recognizing the small moments of appreciation, a colleague's support, a lesson learned from a challenge, a positive interaction, they create a more balanced and constructive perspective. Another way to cultivate gratitude is through reframing difficulties. Life's challenges often bring frustration, but within them lies an opportunity for growth. A person recovering from an illness may initially focus on the pain and inconvenience of their condition. However, shifting perspective allows them to see the experience as a lesson in patience, a deeper appreciation for health, or even an opportunity to slow down and reflect. When hardships are met with gratitude, they lose some of their power to create suffering, becoming stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Practicing gratitude also fosters emotional resilience by training the mind to find light even in dark moments. Those who consistently cultivate gratitude are better equipped to handle setbacks as they are able to find meaning and positivity amidst challenges. A person navigating personal loss may still feel grief, but gratitude allows them to appreciate the time they had, the memories shared, and the love that continues to exist. This perspective does not erase pain, but transforms how it is processed, making room for healing and hope. Ultimately, gratitude is not about denying difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing to recognize what is already good, even in imperfect circumstances. By shifting attention from lack to abundance, gratitude creates a sense of fulfillment that is not dependent on external achievements, but rather on an internal awareness of life's richness. In doing so, it strengthens the foundation for lasting positivity, enabling individuals to move forward with a sense of peace, appreciation, and an ever-growing capacity for joy. Mindfulness and self-compassion are essential in cultivating a mindset that allows setbacks to be met with patience and understanding rather than frustration and self-judgment. After fostering gratitude and recognizing the abundance in life, the next step is to develop a deeper awareness of the present moment and a kind approach toward oneself during challenges. Many people tend to be their own harshest critics, immediately blaming themselves when things go wrong, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy. However, through mindfulness and self-compassion, it is possible to break this cycle, creating space for healing and growth rather than self-condemnation. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present, observing thoughts and emotions without attachment or judgment. When setbacks occur, the initial reaction is often emotional disappointment, frustration, or even anger. A student who fails an important exam might immediately think, "I am not smart enough," allowing this thought to spiral into deeper self-doubt. However, mindfulness invites a pause, a moment to step back and simply observe the emotion rather than be consumed by it. Instead of reacting impulsively, the student can acknowledge the feeling, recognize it as a temporary state, and shift toward a more balanced response. This is disappointing, but I can learn from this and improve next time. Mindfulness does not eliminate negative experiences, but it changes the way they are processed, preventing them from turning into long-term mental burdens. Self-compassion complements mindfulness by offering kindness rather than criticism in times of struggle. Many people extend understanding and encouragement to others, but struggle to do the same for themselves. A person who offers a friend comforting words when they face failure might, in contrast, criticize themselves harshly when encountering their own setbacks. Shifting this approach is crucial. Imagine an athlete who loses a competition. If they immediately berate themselves, focusing on every mistake, they may damage their confidence and motivation. However, if they practice self-compassion, they will acknowledge their disappointment, while also recognizing their effort and progress, encouraging themselves to keep improving. This shift allows setbacks to become opportunities for learning rather than reasons for self-doubt. Another aspect of self-compassion is understanding that imperfection is a shared human experience. When facing challenges, it is easy to feel isolated, as though no one else has struggled in the same way. However, recognizing that setbacks are a universal part of growth reduces the pressure to be perfect. A writer experiencing creative block might feel discouraged, thinking they are not talented enough, but realizing that even the most accomplished writers face similar struggles can provide reassurance. This perspective creates a sense of connection rather than isolation, reinforcing the idea that difficulties do not define a person's worth or potential. Practicing mindfulness and self-compassion also involves changing inner dialogue. Instead of thinking, "I always fail," a more compassionate response would be, "I am doing my best, and setbacks are part of the journey." This shift does not ignore challenges, but frames them in a way that encourages resilience. Using mindfulness techniques, such as deep breathing or meditation, can help create moments of calm, allowing for a more thoughtful response rather than an immediate emotional reaction. A person experiencing stress at work might take a few deep breaths before responding to a difficult situation, helping them approach the challenge with clarity and patience rather than frustration. Integrating mindfulness and self-compassion into daily life requires consistent practice. It means slowing down, becoming aware of negative self-talk, and replacing it with understanding. It means acknowledging struggles without allowing them to define self-worth. It means treating oneself with the same kindness offered to others. Over time, this practice strengthens emotional resilience, allowing individuals to navigate difficulties with greater ease and confidence. Instead of being consumed by setbacks, they learn to embrace them as natural parts of growth, moving forward with patience, self-respect, and a deep sense of inner peace. Continuous learning and growth are essential for adaptability and expanding life's possibilities. After developing mindfulness and self-compassion, embracing a mindset of lifelong learning allows individuals to evolve intellectually, emotionally, and professionally. Learning is not limited to formal education, but is a continuous process of refining skills, gaining new perspectives, and staying open to change. Adaptability is key in a rapidly changing world. Those who resist learning risk stagnation, while those who embrace growth remain capable and relevant. An employee unwilling to learn new skills may struggle, but one who actively seeks knowledge through workshops, mentorship, or self-study remains competitive. Growth is not about changing one's identity, but enhancing one's abilities to meet challenges confidently. Lifelong learning also applies to personal development. The belief that one is too old to learn is limiting, as the brain remains capable of growth. Whether learning an instrument later in life or acquiring a new skill, persistence fosters confidence and resilience. Failure rather than being an endpoint, serves as a lesson. Entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders who analyze setbacks and adapt are more likely to succeed. Seeking diverse perspectives broadens understanding, engaging with different cultures, reading widely, and discussing new ideas foster adaptability. Those who explore viewpoints beyond their own develop deeper insights, allowing them to navigate complexities with clarity. Growth requires both curiosity and humility. A scientist questions theories, an artist refines techniques, and a leader seeks ways to inspire. The pursuit of knowledge is an ongoing journey rather than a destination. Simple daily habits, such as reading, discussing, and experimenting, contribute to continuous improvement. Embracing lifelong learning prevents stagnation and fear of change. It builds confidence in facing uncertainty, turning obstacles into opportunities. By remaining open to growth, individuals unlock potential, ensuring that progress, fulfillment, and success remain within reach. Changing thoughts is not a passive process, but a deliberate effort that shapes the reality we experience. Every thought carries the potential to build confidence or erode self-belief, to create opportunities or reinforce limitations. Developing a positive mindset does not mean ignoring challenges, but rather approaching them with resilience and a belief in one's ability to grow. The transformation of thought patterns is a lifelong journey, requiring awareness, reflection, and consistent practice. A mindset rooted in positivity fosters perseverance, enabling individuals to navigate setbacks without being defined by them. It strengthens adaptability, allowing for continuous learning and self-improvement. As self-talk becomes more empowering, confidence grows, influencing decisions, relationships, and overall well-being. The shift away from negativity is not immediate, but every moment of conscious redirection builds a foundation for long-term success and fulfillment. Ultimately, overcoming negative thinking is not just about changing thoughts, but about reclaiming control over one's narrative. A person who challenges self-doubt, embraces gratitude, cultivates mindfulness, and remains open to learning unlocks their true potential. The journey toward mental transformation is ongoing, but with each step forward, life becomes richer, more purposeful, and filled with greater possibilities.